Look closely at the present you are constructing. It should look like the future you are dreaming. My name is Sharina Mendoti, and I am the Director of Community Life at Charlotte Preparatory School. I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself and to invite you to learn more about what community life means here at Prep, what I've learned since my warm welcome, and how you and I can advocate for an inclusive, diverse, and equitable school community that reflects our global society and the kind of future we are designing. So much of diversity, equity, and inclusion work is about empathy and storytelling, which serve to broaden our understanding and awareness and to celebrate our identities and experiences. Our grade 6 students currently are reading Where I'm From, written by George Ella Lyon. Poetry is one form of storytelling, and I invite you to watch our students deliver their own versions of this classic after this introduction. The question of where I'm from has certainly come up on many occasions, and while I never flex poetry muscles to answer that, I'll admit that I often reply, it's complicated, when really, my story, like many of yours, is just a portrait of diversity. My grandfather was an industrialist and a freedom fighter in India during the British Raj and fought for equity and economic justice his entire life as a social advocate, businessman, and politician. He worked to create opportunities for those tarnished by the caste system. My parents immigrated to the US in the late 1970s, both aspirational and unafraid. I was raised in the Midwest, and I identify as an American with deeply rooted Indian heritage. I lived with both American traditions my parents were adapting to and with Indian traditions that they had brought with them. I love public speaking. I love baking and traveling, and I'm so proud of the relationships I have that span the globe, including my husband, who's Austrian and is an avid globetrotter and adventure junkie. He joined a rather colorful, loud, and boisterous family. Our 2 boys, Conrad and Amundsen, were born in Brazil, and together we have lived in India, Brazil, Chile, and China. My children are products of a multicultural, multilingual, multi-perspective, multinational community. They'll eat jiaozi on the street corner before they attend Deutsch lessons after school. They're defined by their community and their outlook and behaviors and views, and they rely on their community in both challenging times and celebratory ones. Our family experienced firsthand the challenge of being strangers in new but fascinating places. And we've been richly rewarded through travel, culture, diversity in our communities, and the opportunity to have a global perspective on most things. Alice Walker eloquently phrased a theme that resonates with our prep mission. We are committed to preparing our students for a meaningful life, one that is filled with as many challenges as rewards, one that our students will face confidently and successfully. We are all architects of a promising future. Every single valued member of the Charlotte Prep family. We believe in preparing our children to face global challenges, and to do that, we must acknowledge that the world is both chaotic and colorful. And as a community, we must seize opportunities to shape outcomes by sharing, learning, advocating, including, and celebrating. Diversity, equity, and inclusion together form the nexus of those activities. Diversity is the representation of all our varied identities and differences collectively and as individuals. Charlotte Preparatory School seeks to actively engage, understand, include, and draw on a variety of perspectives. Equity seeks to ensure fair treatment, equality of opportunity, and fairness in access to information and resources for all. We believe this is only possible in an environment built on respect, empathy, and dignity. Inclusion builds a culture of belonging by actively inviting the contribution and participation of all people. The voice of every Charlotte Prep student, teacher, administrator, and parent adds value, and we will build and maintain an environment that is responsive, representative, and balanced. You see, our diversity is actually the rich fabric that binds us all together and makes for a deeply rewarding education and social experience, and reinforces our resilience in challenging times. The question is, what can we do as a community to strengthen this fabric? Well, we need to encourage each other to share our stories to celebrate our portraits in diversity, leadership, service, and courage. This is inside-out kind of work. It requires conversation and empathy, accountability, and action, all of which lead to growth, not just for our children, but also for ourselves. A world-class education is a realistic one. It's one that challenges us to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, to acknowledge mistakes because we will make them, but to keep trying for a better understanding of who we are, where we come from, and where we are going. My role is to foster opportunities for us to speak openly and thoughtfully, to lean on the expertise of fellow DEI practitioners, our diverse families and supporters in the Charlotte community, and to lean in to difficult conversations. I will also work with the community to create spaces at school and at home that are inclusive and equitable so that our students can broaden their perspectives, remain respectful of their peers, engage in service to their community, and build character as thinkers and solution seekers. To do this, we will be developing a 2 to 3 year strategy that focuses on listening and designing, activating and thriving. Year 1 is what I call the listening and designing phase. It's all about building relationships at prep and with Charlotte schools, organizations, and service partners, and assessing our current programs and populations so we can help paint a more vibrant picture of what diversity, inclusion, and equity really looks and feels like at Charlotte Prep. In that time, our community will be participating in a community audit, dialogue and education to help develop awareness and skill sets that will inform our future community DEI policies and programs. We will also be creating infrastructure to support conversations, learning opportunities, and celebrations. For example, we have a DEI committee with reps from our divisions, and soon this will expand to include student and parent reps. Pay close attention to our DEI webpage and our parent portal because there you will begin to find virtual spaces for DEI school news, parent education and resources, community portraits, book clubs, speaker series, and hopefully a conversation cafe. I'll be working closely with our prep team, our PA, and families to celebrate diversity at home and on campus, to implement student-driven initiatives and leadership opportunities, as well as address important, current social issues that impact our community at school and beyond. Community participation will yield stories and data and feedback central to the design of any future DEI programs or communications. Year 2 is all about testing and activating those relationships and the infrastructure and strategies we've all had a part in designing. Strong, ongoing professional development, programming, and community outreach will only be successful when we invest in and iterate DEI values, projects, programs, and initiatives. Year 3 and beyond will be about thriving. Developing and maintaining a diverse, inclusive prep community is really an ongoing process, but it's one that we hope will identify Charlotte Prep as a pace setter in the city of Charlotte. Making sure that all students experience equitable learning environments, feel and are indeed included in the classroom or on the field and in their social groups requires the input and cooperation of our specialists, our learning support, our school counseling, our educators, our facilities managers, our administration, and our parents. True educational excellence necessitates a commitment to equity and justice and a deep understanding of diversity. It's the DNA that will drive our students toward their future successes. Future success at Prep and beyond is built with the support of our 4 pillars of respect, integrity, perseverance, and courage. Those pillars will remain upright because we have a strong community. And it's exactly that strength that has supported us through a particularly challenging year, one fraught with uncertainty, but one that has shown us what Prep Pride is all about. This year has also challenged us to face fear with compassion, discomfort with dialogue, and to seize moments to create meaningful change. It's been a year packed with teachable moments, not just for our children, but also for the adults in the room. We've been forced to slow down and to be deliberate with our words, intentions, and actions, and to confront the impact that those have on our personal, local, and global community. Since assuming this role just 1 month ago, I have spent a lot of time actively listening and deliberately inquiring. Visiting with staff and students has been a true privilege. I discovered, for instance, that Senora Lang invites native speakers, Spanish speakers to join together after school, to speak and share in their mother tongue. And I've met students who are absolutely unafraid to start socially conscious activities and seek guidance and support from their community. I also discovered that our school spirit is contagious, because mine was lifted when I listened to Robert Torres, our maintenance supervisor, speak of how inspired he is when he sees uninhibited students thriving on campus. This listening tour will continue because every anecdote I hear, every discovery I make and share helps to shape diversity, equity, and inclusion at Charlotte Prep. I'm so thrilled to be taking on such challenging and rewarding work, and I invite you to be part of this discovery and journey, and to reach out to me with questions, comments, or creative ideas that will strengthen our community. Together, we will design a present that looks like the future we dream. We are One Prep.